Okay, guys, Scott and I wanted to give a quick comparison video between the tethered Mantis saddle, which is what I'm running, and the Arrow Hunter Flex saddle, which Scott's running. I would say these two saddles are probably the most popular.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Probably the two most popular. I mean, you got like Arrow Hunter has the Kestrel, the Kite,
Yep.
which are kind of like pretty much the same as this, but just some
Well,
variations.
this is a Kestrel. This is a Kestrel Flex.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. This is just the spin-off of the Kestrel. I guess. I'm trying to think of the one that they had years ago.
There was the Kite.
No, there was a. Was it Evolution?
Evolution.
Yeah, it was Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution. Evolution was the style that I really liked, but of course I couldn't find one because it has been discontinued for probably the last 3 years, maybe now. I bought a Kestrel. I liked it, but there was still something missing. Being that I'm from I have a climbing background, tree climbing background. So in our industry, you sit down in a saddle, and it cradles you, and that's the only thing. What I found with the Kestrel that I was running, it was still kind of hiking up every now and then. I did kind of really pull down with it, and I really had to customize my leg straps so that it would accommodate my style. So when they came out with this Flex, without even hesitating, I was just like, that's what I need. That's definitely it. With that 6-inch pleat that will pull down, it'll cover your butt more, your thighs. It just lended itself to my style of hunting, because I like to be sitting in my saddle and shooting from that position. I'd be on a platform still, but I like the fact, I'm more of a sitter. Joe tends to be more of a leaner.
More of a leaner, yeah.
So the Thethrd definitely, it fits his style. Basically, for me, I think this is the best thing that's on the market right now, in my opinion. Might be another one out there I haven't tried yet, but right now I have no complaints with the new Flex. I haven't hunted with it yet, so I'll definitely be putting it through its paces in the next month or two.
This bridge with the Flex, is that the standard bridge that comes with it?
This is the standard bridge that comes, yes.
What's nice about this,
is
what's nice about the Flex as compared to the Mantis has an am steel bridge that's fixed, so it's not adjustable. But the Flex,
this I can adjust.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, if I really wanted to, I could stick this out and give myself even more of a pivot. And of course, the longer your bridge is, the less hip pinch you have.
Yep.
And it feels pretty comfortable, even like I said, when it was short. For climbing the DRT, you want your bridge short, because you want everything right in front of you. It just makes it that much simpler. You're not reaching up and grabbing. Keep everything right in front of you.
Yeah, for me, I had to actually tie in a second bridge, because I have the am steel bridge, but it's too long. If I wanted to climb DRT or SRT or something like that,
you're constantly reaching for it all the time.
So I had to, install a separate bridge. But with the beauty of the Flex is you can have one in there and you can just adjust it.
Yeah, they put their bridge, they put it on a the factory Prusik with a Prusik tender in it. So once you get up to height, even too, the same thing I want. It's a little bit longer from me, but I have that. I have it so that if I have to adjust it, give myself less of a hip pinch, it works.
That's a really nice feature. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, I guess you could get that adjustable bridge and put it on a Mantis if you wanted. If you prefer the Mantis, you could do that.
Right. And then also, this is, I believe this is also, they have a lineman's belt that's basically the same thing too, with their factory eyes.
Yeah.
Factory eyes on the Prusik as well with the tender. Yeah. For a lineman's rope, it's actually one-hand use. I don't typically, in my style, I don't really use a lineman's rope. This will double for it for sure. Like if I have to throw it around the tree just to hold me in a position, that's fine. But once I'm climbing DRT, once I'm tied in, to my bridge, then I'm tied in the whole way up.
Yeah. If you're climbing with sticks, then
Right, sticks. Yeah, then you want to use a lineman's belt, also in conjunction with this.
Yeah. If you'll notice on his saddle, right now he doesn't have any. You could buy accessories where you get like cis haulers.
Right, you have the molly webbing on it.
Yeah, it's got the molly webbing on it, so you can do the same thing. Like here, what I've got in mine, I got two of these. I guess it's pronounced cis. Is it a cis hauler or a SYS hauler? I don't know. I call it a cis hauler. But I got these. They're like $15 each, something like that. You buy them from Thethrd, and in one side I keep my tether and I got the recliner for it. Got that in one side, and then the other side I keep my lineman belt. I keep it always looped in on one side, and I've got the lineman with the ropeman. I just keep them. Everything stays together.
Right.
One of the things I like about his flex, these it's just completely preference. I think some guys are going to probably prefer the Mantis over the flex, or vice versa, the flex over the Mantis. But like I think the Mantis is a little bit more minimalist. It seems like it's a lighter, kind of a quicker design. It's got like these for the leg loops. They just basically catch in here like that. There's really not much to them. You pop them on, you adjust them. Like if you were going to sit and hunt in it, it's more comfortable, at least for me, to keep them down here on this bottom loop. But when you're walking in, what you'd want to do is you'd want to pop them off of here, and then up here you have another set of loops.
Right.
If you catch them here, now it's more tucked on your crotch, not across your leg. So when you're walking, it's more freedom of movement from walking. So like when I walk in, I put them on here, and then when I go to climb, I pop them back on here, and it's more comfortable to sit in it that way. If you look now, one thing when you're looking at my Mantis saddle, I have an addition to it. I put it's like I think they call it like a combat belt or whatever it is, some type of a belt that I added. It just makes it a little bit more substantial. So I added that to it. I'm not relying on that to hold me in the tree. That's just strapped on to make it more comfortable when it's on my waist.
Right.
So
gives you more surface area on the backside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I added that. Actually, with the flex, you have more of a substantial belt. That belt seems like it's a little bit bigger. You almost like you don't need it. You know what I mean? I basically had to incorporate something into my Mantis to make it feel a little bit more like I think yours probably already does.
Yes.
And when I
pretty
look
comfortable. The nice thing about these too is that the quick release buckle.
The buckles that he has on his legs on his Arrow Hunter are basically looks like the same buckle that comes on the main belt on the Mantis.
Which is also
so it just the Arrow Hunter, it just seems like it's a more substantial, feels I don't know, it just feels like a more substantial saddle. There's more to it. I think you might, somebody like me, who's a little bit of a, I get up 20 feet and I'm kind of like a cat in the tree. So I feel like I feel almost like a little bit more comfortable in that. I'm sure both of them are just as safe as the other, but it just gives you a sense of security. It feels like a little bit more substantial saddle. But I feel like this one is a little bit more minimalist. And maybe some guys kind of prefer that, especially the whole idea for using a saddle, a lot of people, is to go in really light and you almost want to feel like you're not wearing anything.
Right.
So it's kind of one of the nice things about it. I really do think that probably this saddle would feel a little bit better for a walk-in than that. I feel like that might be a little bit more substantial.
Yeah, you feel it on you, definitely. And
this I almost feel like I'm not wearing anything.
Right, and then early season when it's warm out, you might not want to wear this, and you might sweat.
It's a little heavier.
It's heavier. It's more. This is like more Cordura.
Yeah, that's like Cordura, and this is more of like a mesh.
That's a mesh, right?
So it's a little
definitely lighter, weight-wise, but also as far as walking and stuff like that, it's going to ventilate better.
Yeah. You really can't go wrong with either one.
Right.
They're both really good saddles.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with either one. Right. But they have, each one has kind of some features that, maybe appeal to one person over another. So it's purely preference.
Right.
But we have there's a friend of ours, Jeff Marilla, that's got going to be,
Trophy line.
yeah, he's going to
He's
be,
going to be debuting that soon.
yeah, the trophy lines. And we spoke to him the other day on, you know, we were private messaging back and forth, and when he's got, you know, when he's got one available, we're going to do a little video on that, try and compare it to these two. So it'll be good, because I think, you know, now you're starting to see some more saddles come out in the industry.
And then there's the JX3 also, and that,
Yeah.
and that is more. I mean, that looks like the recliner of the industry. Supposedly
that really
couple
appeals
guys.
to me,
Yeah, that's
because
super. That's creature comfort.
right.
That's-
But you give up something with that. I think with these
right.
styles,
You give up the minimalist probably.
Yeah.
You know, walking in with it on.
Right.
You know, but
that
as
one's
far
kind
as
of like
comfort,
almost like having a chair strapped to your back
Yeah, right.
going in. I think it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit more substantial on your back and going in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're sitting in there all day, you might be more comfortable
Right,
sitting in that than you
exactly.
would in one of these.
and it might be. I'm sure it's probably somewhat warmer too. You know, you got more material around you. You know, kind of envelops your
Yep.
body more. So.
Yep, you're like literally sitting in a chair.
In a chair.
That's in the tree. It looks really very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
So you know, we just wanted to give you, you know, our quick thoughts on them. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. I have to say that you know, I originally purchased the Mantis, and looking at the Flex, I kind of tend to like the Flex a little bit more. I've tried Scott's on, and it just, you know, it does kind of appeal to me, because I really, just like the JX3 actually appeals to me more than probably both of these, because I'm a little bit less minimalist and more about the comfort. But you know, you can get really comfortable in all three of them,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's a little bit different. So it's the difficult thing with this stuff is it's hard to really compare them. You know, you see them online, you go and buy it, because you know, it's not like you can go into a store and try a couple of different
right.
ones. And
Right.
maybe you can get to a show and there's some. That's one of the things we'd like to try to do is, we were talking about trying to have some type of a get together where we can get a bunch of guys, you know, kind of compare different things, and it's just we haven't been able to pull anything together with our time and everything. But we're gonna try to do that at some point here in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and see if we can make that happen. But you know, just from our own experience with these two, you really can't go wrong either way.
Right.
I think we probably both slightly prefer the Flex, but you know, there's going to be guys who definitely prefer the
Right.
Mantis to them, and
Yeah.
you just
Yeah,
it's really
definitely.
splitting hairs.
Right, because I climbed with Joe's a few times. You know, I think he even did a couple videos with it on. And you know, just for me personally, because of my style, I'm more of a sitter, and it did. I like the lightness of it, the minimalist of it. I love that, but it didn't conform to my style.
Yeah, and you got to remember specifically with Scott's style is he's climbing DRT. There's a lot of guys that don't climb DRT or SRT, so I think if you're climbing with that style, this
type
would probably you know,
especially if you have that tree climbing background.
Right.
As soon as you put this on,
feel like you're at
right,
work,
you're
right?
home.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
with this one, I feel like, and this is probably the majority of hunters are using climbing sticks, and you know, tethered to the tree. So, you know, I don't know that it'd be, you know, you feel better, but you feel every bit as comfortable either way. So you just really can't go wrong with either one.
right.
So,
Yeah.
so hopefully that little comparison is helpful to you guys.
Right.
If
Hopefully
it is,
some of you newbies out there, you know somebody who has one before you go and spend the money.
yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
can try a couple on. That's the thing too, even in your area. If you know, if you can do a meet and greet in your area,
yep,
you can get a bunch of guys out there with a couple different styles of saddle and try a few on, and you know, then you really can tell what you like, you know,
yeah.
before you go and spend the money.
If you go on,
But even if you do, if you spend the money and you're not 100% happy with it or whatever, you know, these things don't depreciate.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's always somebody out there looking for this one you have.
Yep.
You know, whether size-wise or comfort-wise.
guys don't want to. If you bought one, nobody wants to wait. That's
Right.
the only downside to buying any of these is they're a hot item, so there's
Yes.
a long
Right.
waiting list. So you might wait 6-8 weeks or
Right.
something to get them.
Yeah, I mean, I bought my Kestrel, and you know, within a matter of weeks, you know, the Flex came out, and I was like, oh wow, that's the one I really want, you know. And I mean, I flipped my Kestrel like that, no problem.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you might try a couple, and you know, who knows where you'll end up, you know. I bought my Mantis, and then, you know, I saw the Flex, and I said, man, I don't know if I might like that better, but it wasn't enough. You know, for me, I'm just going to stick with what I've got right now.
Yeah.
But
Didn't tip the scale forward.
Yeah, it didn't tip the scale completely.
Right.
But I am looking forward to checking out the trophy line, see what that's like.
Yeah, definitely.
And I really would like to see that JX3. Who knows, man? By the time I'm all said and done, I might end up with 3 or 4 saddles.
Yeah, you never know.
So it's like fishing poles and guns, right? Yeah, you know, you can never have too many.
Exactly.
So hopefully these tips and this comparison is helpful to you guys. We're gonna keep trying to put out videos and stuff. And I hope you guys like what we're putting out. If you do, we'd really appreciate it if you can subscribe.
Definitely.
And you can hit that little bell button there, and anytime we put out a new video, it'll pop up. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
And we're just constantly trying to think of things that, you know, we talk about, and
Right, and share it with you guys.
we just like to share it with you guys. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, guys.